Hello everyone. So today we will be designing one more type of roof truss which is subjected to reversal of forces. So here you can see a line diagram of a roof truss which is subjected to reversal of forces. That is, the same member is subjected to compression force as well as tension force. So here we can see the question: design the top chord member and bottom chord member and the diagonal member DE. Here this one of the roof truss. The design forces are given in this table. So we need to design the top chord member, that is the rafter. Then we need to design the bottom chord member. Then we need to design one diagonal member. We don't have to design the anchor bolt and base plate here. So we will be designing only these three members. So now we will start. First we will start with top chord member, which is subjected to a compressive force of 54.25 kilonewton, and also it is subjected to a tension force of 34.42 kilonewton. So we need to design this member as a compression member. Once it is safe, we need to check whether the same member is safe in tension or not. So here the reversal of stresses means, so we have first one, top chord member. So this is top chord member. It is subjected to a compressive force of 54.25 kilonewton compression and tension force of 34.42 kilonewton. Now, this reversal of stresses occurs mainly because suppose you have a member like this. Suppose you have a member like this. Now, it is subjected to a force like this. When the force is acting along its axis, it will try to compress the member, and this becomes a compression member. Now, the same member during some time of the year will be subjected to lateral forces like wind load and all. So those forces will try to act like this, in this way. So because of which the compression member will try to bend like this. So this member, it's a compression member, but because of wind load, sometimes the same member will act like a tension member also. So whatever section we design, we need to design it as a compression member first. We need to check for its safety. Then the same member, whatever we have selected, it also has to be safe against a tensile force of 34.42 kilonewton. So whatever section we select, we are designing it as a compression member. Then same thing, we are checking whether it is safe in tension or not. So that we will do. So right now we have a compression force of 54.25 kilonewton. So that will start with the design. So first, let us find the area required to select the section. We are designing it as a compression member now. So let us assume FCD. Since the force is very small, I will assume 40 MPa. So therefore area required will be load by FCD, that is assumed FCD. So that is 54.25 divided by 40, which comes around 1356 mm square. So this is the area required. Next, I will select this section from the steel table. So selection of trial section. So from the steel table, I will try 2 ISA 90 90 10, the area of which is 1703 mm square. RXX is 27.3 mm. RYY 41.2 mm. CXX is 25.9 mm. So I have written all the details required for the design. I have taken it from the steel table. I will also assume 10 mm gusset plate. So I am assuming this strut is connected to a 10 mm gusset plate. So the next step, effective length. So KL as per IS 800, I will assume it to be 0.85 times of the length. The length is given, it is 1.863. 1863. The length is given in the question, which comes around 1583 mm. Okay, so after finding the effective length, the next step is to compute the design stress FCD. So from table number 9C, for buckling class C, for angles the buckling class is always C. KL by R minimum ratio, that is slenderness ratio, is 1583 divided by 27.3, which comes around 58. So now referring to table number 9C for buckling class C, for KL by R minimum 58 and FY 250. So for 50 it is 183. For 58 we need to find. For 60 it is 168. So this after doing interpolation, so we will get FCD as approximately 175. I have taken the value directly. You need to find it by doing interpolation. So next, for this value we need to find the design load, that is capacity of the angle which we have selected. Now since the load is very less, it is 54 kilonewton, right? So what I will do is I will use only single angle for the top chord member. I will not use double angle. So the area of a single angle is 1703. So which comes around the load 298 kilonewton, which is greater than 54 kilonewton. So therefore it is safe. You guys can try with some smaller section also, because the capacity of a single angle 10 is 298 kilonewton, whereas we required only 54 kilonewton. So it is not economical. It is safe, but it is not economical. So you can try with some smaller section also. So now once it is safe, we will provide the connection. Let us provide the connection. In the previous problem we provided bolted connection. In this problem let us provide welded connection. So let us provide welded connection. Minimum size of the weld, for a 10 mm plate, the thickness of the angle is 10 mm and the thickness of gusset is also we have assumed to be 10 mm. So for 10 mm thickness, minimum size is 3 mm. Maximum size of weld, maximum size of the weld is, so we have an angle like this. We have an angle like this. Say it is the gusset plate. So we are providing welding here at this location and welding at this location. So around the square edge, it is T minus 1.5, and around the toe of the angle, that is at this location, it is 3/4 of the thickness. So T minus 1.5 thickness is 10 mm, T comes around 8.5, and 3/4 of 10, 7.5. So let us provide the size of the weld as 7.5 mm. Now let LW be the total length of weld, total length of the weld. So effective throat thickness, effective size of the weld is 0.7 times S. It is 0.7 times the size of the weld, effective size. So now we have the strength of the weld formula. Strength of weld formula is given as 0.7 into T, that is size of the weld, 0.7 into S into Fu by root 3. We are assuming fillet weld divided by 1.25, that is partial safety factor. Now this weld, whatever connection we are providing, it has to withstand a force of 54 kilonewton, right? So 54.25 into 10 to the power 3 into 0.7 into 7.5 into 410 by root 3 into 1 by 1.25. So which comes around, this whole multiplied by ELW. This whole multiplied by ELW. So by solving this, we will get the length of the weld, which comes around approximately 60 mm. So it comes around 60 mm. Now This 60 mm we need to provide it. We have the angle here like this. We have the angle like this here. This is 90. This is CXX. CXX was how much? 25. 25.9, and this will become 64.1. Now this length of the weld I need to provide it. If I provide half at the top and half at the bottom, the load will be eccentric, the connection will be eccentric. So in order to make the connection concentric, what we can do is we need to make the center of gravity of the weld to coincide with that of the angle. So the CG of the weld, we need to make sure that it coincides with that of the angle. So for that, what we can do is we have to find, suppose if I am providing welding here, let this be L1, let this be L2. So this I need to find. So for that, we know L1 plus L2 is 60 mm, and to coincide the CG of the weld with that of angle, so L1 into this distance into 25.9 should be equal to L2 into this distance, that is 64.1. So solving this, we will get the values of L1 and L2, which comes around L1 42.73 and L2 17.26. So these are the final length of the weld which we are providing to the angle. Usually in the question they don't mention what connection to provide. You will be having the option whether to go for bolted connection or whether to go for a welded connection. So since we have already taken bolted connection in the previous problem, in this problem we are taking welded connection now. So once the connection is over, this connection is over. Now again remember, the member which we had, it was a compression member, but because of the reversal of stresses, that is the same member during some other time, because of some other factors like lateral loads, wind load, the stresses will act like this. Or take an example of a beam. When the load is like this for the beam, it will be subjected to bending. Beam is a tension member, but because of wind load, sometimes the load will act like this. Here this load is causing bending, and this load is trying to compress the member. So this beam, being a tension member, sometimes because of wind load will also get compressed and act like a compression member. So whatever section we select, it has to be safe against tension. At the same time, when this phenomena is happening, it has to be safe against the compression force also. So now this, in the present problem, the top chord member is subjected to 54.25 kilonewton of compressive force and 34 kilonewton of tension force. So check for reversal of stresses. Check for reversal of stresses. So now tension force is 34.42 kilonewton, length is 1863 mm. So we need to perform all the three checks, that is check for yielding, due to yielding, due to rupture and due to block shear. So first, design strength due to yielding of cross section. We have already selected the section, so we don't have to select again. We have AG into Fy by gamma m naught. AG is 1703 into 250 by 1.1. So 1703 to 1.1, it comes around 387 kilonewton. 387 kilonewton, which is much greater than required 34.42. So therefore it is safe. I repeat again, it is safe but not economical. You can try with smaller sections. Fine. Next, let us check it due to rupture of critical section. Now, rupture of due to critical section is given by TDN equals to 0.9 ANC FU by gamma m1 plus beta AGO Fy by gamma m naught. Now here ANC, that is net area, we have an angle here like this, which is connected to a gusset plate like this. So we are not drilling the holes here. For bolted connection we need to drill the holes here, but here we are not drilling any holes, directly we are providing welding. So net area will be equal to gross area. So ANC will be equal to AGO, because both legs are of same size, 90, 90, 10. So ANC and AGO will be 90 minus 10 by 2 into thickness. So from here to here it is 90. This much area will be common for this leg and for this leg. So half we are distributing here and half we are distributing here. So 90 minus 10 by 2, which comes around 850. So in this equation again we need the value of beta. So beta is given by 1.4 minus 0.076 W by T Fy by Fu Bs by LC. So W is outstand leg width from here to here, it is 90. Thickness is 10. Fy is 250. Fu is 410. Bs is shear leg width, which is given in IS 800. Here you can see Bs. In case of bolted connection, when you are drilling the hole, the length will be from here to here, shear leg width. In case when you are not drilling the holes, the length is from here to here, that is Bs is nothing but W. So same, 90 mm. LC is the length of the connection. LC is the length of the connection. So we are providing the length here. L1 we are providing 42.73. L2 we are providing 17.26. So here it is 17.26, here it is 42.73. So the length of the connection will be the average length of the connection. So that is 42.73 plus 17.26 divided by 2, which comes around 30 mm. So LC will be 30 mm. So substituting all these values, we will get the value of beta, which comes around 48. But the condition for the value of beta is it should be greater than or equal to at least 0.7. In this case we got the value of beta as 0.148. It has to be greater than 0.7. So the value of beta which we need to select should be 0.7, because it has to be at least equal to or more than 0.7 or less than Fu gamma m naught by Fy gamma m1, that is 1.44. So it should be in between 0.7 and 1.44, but here in this problem you got the value as 0.148. So we are adopting the value of beta as 0.7. So substituting all these values in the formula for the rupture, we need to find the load. So that load, if it is greater than 34.42 kilonewton, then the section which we have selected is safe. Similarly, in the same way, we need to check for block shear. So I will you guys calculate the value of TDN and check whether it is safe or not. I will directly move towards check for block shear. So in case of a block shear, the unknown terms which we have are AVG, AVN, ATG and ATN, right? In previous problems we have seen what these terms are, but in case of welded connection, let us see once again. So we have the section like this, which is subjected to a tension force, and connection we are providing it like this. Okay, now for the block shear to occur, it has to fail in shear like this. It has to cut, the plate will cut into two, it has to fail in shear, and simultaneously for block shear to occur, it has to fail in tension as well, like this. In this way it forms a block shear. Both will occur simultaneously. It is one type of failure. Both will occur simultaneously. So this is shear, this is tension. So it will fail in tension like this here, it will fail in shear in this way. Now AVG we need to find. So AVG will be here, AVG is gross area in shear, AVN is net area in shear. So here earlier in bolted connection what we used to do, we used to drill holes. So suppose this much is your area, this is, if you don't drill hole, it will become gross area. If you drill holes, you are cutting some portion of the original plate. So after deducting that, it will become net area in shear. But in this case we are not drilling any holes, so AVG will be equals to AVN and ATG will be equals to ATN. So here AVG, that is area in shear, we know the formula for area, L into T, right? Formula for area is L into T. So here length we need to select. Length is nothing but average length of the weld which we are providing, average length. So that is 30 mm we have provided into 10, which becomes 300, and here ATG equal to ATN, length of the angle is 90, so 90 into 10. That is 900. So we got the value of ATG and ATN, we got the value of AVG and AVN. So now substituting all the values in the formula for TDB1 and TDB2, we need to check how much is the value. If it is greater than 34 kilonewton, it will be safe. If not, again we need to revise the section. So this is how welded connection is provided, and this is how this design for reversal of stasis is done. This, once you get the values, once you finish this step, it will be the design of bottom chord member is over. Similarly, you have to design the bottom chord member and you have to design the diagonal member.